Hey everyone, RevDMQ here. The Winter Offensive patch for Battlefield 6 is officially out, bringing a new snowy map, bringing fresh cosmetics, and this seasonal vibe to the game. A lot of really cool stuff. But along with that came a wave of new issues that the community is talking about nonstop. Today in this video, we're breaking all of that down, the biggest problems affecting the game right now, what's happening in multiplayer, the chaos unfolding in RedSec, and of course, where things stand with Portal. If you've been wondering why Battlefield 6 feels different and not in a good way, well, then this video's for you. Let's jump in. But before we do that, I want to let you know I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. I know I'm a little guy. I do this on the side. I love Battlefield. I love making this content. Help me get to 1,000 subs ASAP. As of this recording, I'm 4 away. Please subscribe, please comment, like the video. But if you don't like it, dislike it, that's fine. But let's get into this video. Let's start with the mode most of us spend our time in, multiplayer. And unfortunately, it's the one getting hit the hardest right now. The main issues players are reporting after the patch is a surge in micro-stuttering and mid-match freezes. These aren't subtle. They're brief, sharp performance drops that interrupt firefights, throw off aim timing, and make the entire pacing of a match feel uneven. Whether you're on Conquest, Breakthrough, or rotating through the new seasonal playlists, these stutters create a sense of unpredictability that's just not fun, especially in a game as movement sensitive as Battlefield. PC players have been the loudest about it, with a ton of clips showing sudden FPS dips, tiny hitches every few seconds, and even longer half-second freezes during explosions or large-scale firefights. But consoles aren't immune either. Several players on Xbox and PlayStation have been reporting unstable frame pacing after the update. It's inconsistent, it's disruptive, and it's clearly tied to this patch. Alongside performance issues, the UI has taken a hit. And to me, this is one of the biggest issues in Battlefield 6 right now. Menus are flickering for everyone right now, with loadouts occasionally failing to display correctly. The end around scoreboard sometimes lingers longer than it should or loads with incomplete information. Even the Battle Pass interface has moments where icons vanish or refresh incorrectly, and that menu bug is the biggest one in the game to me right now because it's game breaking. If you leave a server and go back to the menu, you have to reboot your entire game, and if you're in a party, that's a big deal. Then there are these animation bugs. Some players are getting the infamous under the map death camera, while others see characters holding weapons at strange angles or performing reloads with mismatched animations. These aren't necessarily game breaking, but they affect the polish and the presentation that Battlefield is really known for. Finally, there are server-side hiccups. Sometimes people end their matches prematurely, or they're not reporting correct ticket accounts, especially in the large-scale modes. It's sporadic, but frequent enough that it's become a notable part of multiplayer's post-patch instability. Overall, the core experience of Battlefield 6 multiplayer feels less stable and less predictable than it did before the update. And players across every platform have been really vocal about this downgrade. Now let's move over to RedSec, Battlefield 6's Battle Royale-inspired mode that's been gaining traction, and with the attempt at esports, unfortunately, this hasn't escaped post-patch problems either. Biggest issue for RedSec? Instability. Players have been reporting an uptick in crashes, sometimes during loading, sometimes mid-match, and sometimes right after redeploying. These aren't isolated incidents. Community threads all over Reddit, YouTube, wherever, they're filling up with reports from players from all over the world describing the same patterns of sudden game shutdowns. There's also a deployment bug that shows up sometimes. In certain instances, players spawn into RedSec only to find out that they can't actually enter the battlefield. This actually happened to me and Flakfire. We were jumping into a duos round of RedSec, and we got locked in the chopper, just seemingly permanently. We had to back out, go to the menu, but then when we went to the menu, it was bugged, so we had to close the game and start over again. You get locked in this infinite loading transition or stuck in the pre-drop camera state, and it's unplayable, and there's nothing that you can do about it. The new patch also seems to have affected RedSec's pacing systems. Sometimes people have noted that the circle timing feels a little bit off. It's either closing faster than expected or it doesn't sync with the countdown timer. On top of that, some of the beacon and redeploy logic appears inconsistent, with players not always receiving the second chance mechanics the mode is supposed to guarantee. Because RedSec is intended to be so connected to competitive play, these issues have had a ripple effect beyond casual matches. EA postponed the RedSec Elite Series this last week because of technical instability related to this most recent patch. This is a big deal because this was a $1 million tournament that they've been trying to hype up, and Battlefield really wants to chip away at the BR competitive scene. But if an update delays scheduled esports activities, you know that the issue is significant. All of this combines to make RedSec feel especially volatile right now. When it works, it's still, to me, one of the most exciting modes in the whole franchise. I actually really enjoy RedSec. I've been honestly wanting a Battlefield BR for 8 years, but its current reliability is a major concern for both everyday players like me, as well as those who would be competing in competitive tournaments. Finally, let's talk about Portal, Battlefield's custom mode laboratory and one of the community's favorite playgrounds. Portal, so much potential. Maybe they should change the name from Portal to Potential, because it has seen its issues, though they're a bit different from mainline modes. The biggest problem is matchmaking instability. Players are reporting that Portal servers are sometimes failing to populate properly, leaving matches stuck in waiting for players, even when multiple people are already queued. Some custom servers aren't loading maps correctly, while others kick players back to the main menu mid-load. In addition, certain community-made modes are having trouble with rule sets not applying correctly. Custom modifiers that once worked smoothly, like specialty weapon restrictions or movement tweaks, are either glitching out or failing to enable at all after the update. Another frequent complaint is mode locking. Some Portal experiences are appearing locked without explanation, even when the players meet the requirements to enter. It's not tied to the content creator, to the person who made it. It's not tied to player progression. It's simply a system level bug. And not to mention, Portal is just really hard to find matches and populate matches. There's not an easy way for people to get into Portal matches without Battlefield highlighting some of these on the main menu. There has to be other features for people to get into Portal. This makes Portal feel unpredictable because the mode relies heavily on the stability of back-end systems, and because it interacts with so many different Battlefield logic layers, it's extra vulnerable to underlying technical issues introduced by a patch. And right now, it's clear that the most recent update destabilized some of those systems and makes it harder for people to find the games they want to play. So here's the bottom line. The Winter Offensive patch for Battlefield 6 brought new content, new energy, and a whole lot of hype. But there's also a wide range of technical problems across the board. A lot of hype. We really need that foundation. Multiplayer is stuttering with the menu, the UI issues, the server problems. RedSec is dealing with crashes and competitive delays. Portal struggling with matchmaking, loading bugs, and people finding matches. Players everywhere are noticing this. They've commented all over community forums. But the thing is, DICE and EA, they are aware of these problems, and they've communicated more than maybe we would have expected through this fallout from this update. They're aware of it. They're taking responsibility for it, which is good. But I'll keep covering these patches, these updates with Battlefield 6. So if you want to stay up to date with what's happening with Battlefield, then I encourage you to, once again, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm so close to 1,000, help me get there, and comment below with some of the issues that you've seen. Maybe I haven't maybe I haven't covered everything. What have you been experiencing since the patch that needs addressing? Hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you in the next one. Grace and peace.